speed limiter, and that limits the cart to 25. However, the cart does 28. We are also going to be installing a battery tender on the cart so that it stays charged when I'm not using it. And we are taking a look at the part of the cart that is annoying, and that is the backup warning chime. We are going to be removing that. So let's start with the backup chime. All right guys, taking a look at the speed limiter on the cart, it is mechanically limited to 25 miles an hour with this set screw. So I removed the bolt from underneath the vehicle. All we had to do now was just pull out this speed limiter here. And what we're going to do is I have a little baggie for it marked in case I ever sell the cart. If somebody wants the speed limiter back on, we've got our speed limiter right there. So the top speed is now unlimited on the golf cart, whatever the motor can do. However, the guy who I bought it from said don't keep it at high speed for a long period of time because the oil will run up, stay in the top of the engine, and it will do damage to the engine. So you're not supposed to run it hard for a long period of time. The next thing we're going to do here is we are going to install our battery tender so that we keep this battery charged when we are not using the cart. So we're going to get our tripod out and go ahead and do that now. All right, we are back out here in the garage with the Green Machine 200 EFI, and here is the battery. Looks like it is just your standard hex nut with screw terminal. Now here we have our battery tender that has the screw holes to attach it permanently to a battery. We're going to use this. And what we are going to do is look for a good place under here that we can secure the connector on the end to, so that when we want to use the battery tender, we can just reach under and plug in the cord here. So here's the end that plugs in. It's a quick connector. We're either going to try to do that in the front of the cart or the back of the cart. The front is more convenient. The cable is not very long at all. That's the only issue, is we may not have enough to really do that. We may have to extend this cable. Yep, I think we got to extend this cable because I kind of want it to be underneath. Let's see how long it is. So when it's fully connected here, it's going to be about that long. Let's see if I can actually reach under there and still grab the cord. If I can, then that's fine. We'll just tie it off and use it like that. So let's see, we probably need that much. Yeah. Let's see. So it's kind of inconvenient. I think I am going to go ahead and extend this cable. So we will go ahead and do that now with my new heat gun and my new connectors. All right guys, we are back, and here is the original cable. And if we take a good look at this cable, on the red side there is some markings, some white markings, so we can keep the red, the positive and the negative separated. We've got our heat shrink tubing here, and we've got some extra wire, some landscape light wire that's kind of perfect for this if we can get it inside of these solder shrink guys. So I'm going to go ahead and cut towards the end, not all the way to the end, but semi towards the end. And maybe right there is fine. Okay, now let's go ahead and separate the wires. Okay, they're actually red on the inside as well, so that helps us with keeping positive and negative in track. There's a red wire inside there showing you that that's positive. Got my wire strippers here. I opened the freaking heat shrink connectors from the wrong side. They all fell out of their little pockets, so yeah. So they were nice and organized, but now they're not. All right, we're gonna take and strip back some wire. Now this wire has to reach all the way to the center where the solder is on your connector. If you look right here, so it's got to go all the way to the middle. So we're going to do the same with the other side. Kind of helps to have something non-fireproof to do this on, because this heat gun gets pretty hot. Not working very well on that one. Doesn't want to strip that side off very well, because there's also a wire inside of this. There's insulation, not a wire, there's insulation inside the insulation, so it's not able to strip completely. So there's that one. We'll go ahead and twist these up. And then we got our heat shrink solder terminal here. It's a little big. We got to do this twice also. Remember, we're extending this thing, and we don't need that much, but let's extend it by like that much. So here's our, we're using landscape lighting wire, which is fine. And then of course, we want to make sure that we get heat shrink tubing also over it before we connect, or we won't be able to do it afterwards. So I want to see how big this insulation is on this pretty thick insulation, because outside the wire tends to deteriorate fast. So the other wire is a little bit too big for the yellow size, but I think it's perfect for this. Let's see. Go ahead and twist this up. Now we got to make sure we get positive and negative correct. So we're going to do positive with the white marking on our landscape wire. It actually fits perfect on these. So what you do is you put it inside the tubing to the solder point. Then you insert your other wire, the same amount. But we already messed up because we need heat shrink tubing. So we're going to go ahead and put heat shrink tubing on this. Do I have enough? Yeah, I have 4. So let's pull that back off. Well, actually we could have done it from the other side as well, but let's pull it off and put our heat shrink tubing on. Yeah, this is the only size that will fit. Alright, it's stuck inside. Shrink on this side. We honestly don't need that much. Let's shrink that. Yeah, we do. We do need that much. Let's put it back through. So we got our heat shrink tubing in there. This is going to be positive. Make sure I still got that positive. It is. It's the side with the marking on the wire. Get our wires inside there. Make sure inside of your connector that the wires are through the part with the solder, okay? Because otherwise they are not going to solder down. Now, ideally, I wish we had something better to heat gun on, because this gets pretty hot, and all we have is the table here. So we don't want to shrink our tubing yet. So this is kind of a pain. like when you're doing this. Like when you do the first one, it's kind of a pain, honestly. Okay, so positive. Try this again. I'm trying to figure out where to put it when I actually start. I guess that's fine. Oh, I ripped it right out. Nice job. See what I mean though? It easily comes apart. So that's the only complaint I have. It'd be better if you had some clamps or something. But let's go ahead. See how the other wire always tends to get in the way and stuff? It's awkward doing the first one. When I do this, I do the plastic first so that it goes ahead and holds the wire in. Like that. See how it's shrunk around the plastic? And then you can concentrate on the solder part. Wires are right in the way. Now you melt the solder in the center. And it says when you do it to hold the gun, to rotate the gun around the solder to make sure it melts all the way around. So I'm trying to do that now. Alright, I think I got it. Remember, this is very hot. It'll melt whatever you put it on. So yeah, that looks good. I don't know if you guys can see, but looks like I got it done. Now I've got the heat shrink tubing right over it. Might be kind of big for this, but I don't think I can get the neck size down on here. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's hot. Let's see if I get the neck size. No, that's not going to go over it. So it might be loose. This heat shrink tubing, when we get done, might be a little loose. Let's see what happens. Okay, got our first one on. And now it's time to do our second one. So we put our heat shrink tubing over it. And we got our connector here. And both the wires are in there and they're ready to go. Let's go ahead and shrink the plastic. Plastic is shrunk. Now I'm going to work on the solder part. Alright, I saw the solder melt, so that one's good. Yep, now let's get our heat shrinker around it. Uh-oh, is it coming out? Oh, my tubing melted too soon. Yep, that one kind of got messed up, guys. I'm not sure if it's still connected or not. My tubing melted before I got it on. Oh well, it was looking good until that one. Alright, let's get our second one on. So here's our extension. We need another heat shrink. This time we got to make sure we don't put our heat shrink tubing across it until it's completely dry, because it melted right away and messed up our connector. Alright, we need plus, which is right here. And plus right here. Okay, let's go ahead and melt our heat shrink. And now our solder. Okay. Now it's got to cool off a bit before we pull our heat shrink over it. Lesson learned. So that's cooling off. It's still quite hot. We need another heat shrink and another connector. Put our heat shrink tubing on. I really messed that one up down there. I'm so bummed because it was perfect before that. Okay. Got our tubing ready. Put our wire through it. And go ahead and melt. Melt the solder. Should be good. Don't forget this gun is very hot. Okay. So that one I think is cool enough for heat shrink, hopefully. Let's go ahead and do that. Alright, one side done. Okay, other side. Okay, so we got that one mistake down here. Pretty crucial. Oh well, we made a mistake right there. So, I don't have another bigger piece that I can actually get around there. So I'm going to use the tried and true method of electrical tape at this point. Go ahead and wrap this guy up. Hopefully this works. I didn't test it yet. It's a good connection there. Go ahead and do this side. All this really is for is to keep the wires nice and neat. They're already insulated. hot little potato. All right, guys, we have our extended battery tender cable here. Let's go ahead and put it on. All right, we're back out here trying to install our battery tender. So we are looking for the right size wrench, and it appears to be metric. I don't think I have it. I don't have a lot of metric wrenches. Let's see what I have here. It's not an 11, so it's pretty small. I don't know if I'll be able to get a socket on it. Got a 10. Problem is, I think it's blocked by the. That might be it. Might be a 10. Let's see. Okay. 10 worked. Connector is this? We have to get it all the way off for almost like thinking we should just do the I was thinking maybe doing the can't even talk. Negative last, but I guess it doesn't matter. Doesn't want to go on. Let's see. Need a maybe Phillips. Okay, what did I do? Oh, there's a nut on the bottom. The nut came off on the bottom. Dude, really? Well, this sucks. Well, this is a pain. The hell am I going to get this thing back on? Dumbest design ever. I think I got it, but man, that is a stupid design. Yeah. That did it. Now, when you do this, you got to make sure that you don't touch any touch anything negative with the positive terminal. see what that does. Once again, screw. The nut is like way down in there. And kind of a pain to get back on. This is such a stupid ass design. I guess that's the way to do it. Make sure you don't touch your screwdriver or anything while you're doing this. This sucks. Next thing that's going to happen is it's going to fall out. You know it. So what's happening is the nut is in a place where you can't get to it, and it falls down. Makes it very hard to put back on. Dumbest design I've ever seen. The nuts, the screw is not long enough. The screw's not long enough on either side to just get the nut. So it's like maybe one thread too short. Or the bolt or the post is like, you can't get a screwdriver in there either. This thing sucks. I hate it. I gotta figure out a better strategy for that one. Wish you guys could see this dumb design. It's like there's a nut that holds, there's a nut that you have to screw down into and you can't get to it. The problem is the bolt itself is too short. If it was like one thread longer, it would work. But it's not long enough to bite on the screw. You need literally 3 hands to do this, or 2 people. Or you gotta be lucky. And I think I got lucky on that one, on the negative cable. But that's what happens. Yeah, now the nut's like coming out. This sucks big time. This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Why? Did I just lose it? Yep. This is a dumb design. I'm sorry. Stupid, stupid, stupid design. And I think they fell. I think it's a nut, but I can't tell. Where'd it go? Well, I think I lost it. Great. How could it go? Alright guys, I don't know what to do about this guy because other side tightened right up. This guy's not tightening. I lost a little thing, I think. I heard it fall, but I don't see it anywhere. Unless it fell on this tray. There's a tray under here. Could have fallen into. But I don't see it. Well, I gotta figure out what to do about this. Alright guys, I was able to find my own nut and bolt and finally MacGyver that thing back. Not ideal. I'll go ahead and look for a replacement bolt for that. I don't know where the bolt or the nut went. Barely got a nut underneath that thing. Now what I want to do is tie this up really nice and run it down the side of the battery so it can go down to the underneath the cart and it will be available up front. So I'm going to get some zip ties here and I'm going to first tie it off to this battery clamp. Battery clamp's just a bungee cord, by the way. Just like that. Cutters to trim the zip tie off. Which isn't working at all because they're too big. And rotate the zip tie to the back so you can't see the ugly clamp part. And then the rest goes down here. I'm gonna put one maybe around this break. Well, no, probably around this cable. See if I can get you guys a view of this. You might not be able to see this, it's hard to get a camera view, but I'm going to tie it up to, there is a throttle cable or something here. I'm going to go ahead and tie it to that underneath, which is really hard to get to, by the way. Yeah, it looks like that might be that's one of the brake cables, I think. I wish I would have made the wire a little longer now. I don't know why I do that all the time. It's not quite long enough to be effective, I don't think. Which means it's going to require a little bit of getting underneath the cart to connect, which I don't like. They do sell these longer, so I have that option. And also I can get a little bit more slack out of it. Right here. Need my scissors. Grab my scissors real quick. Okay, that's good. So what I'm doing now is up under here, I am tying it off to this cable. You guys won't be able to see that, so I'll be right back. All right, we're back in the garage with the Green Machine 200 EFI. We got our battery tender connected, running down through the bottom. We have it tied off right here, and if that looks bad and I start seeing it, I will move it. But for right now, it's ready to go. And we've got our battery tender right here. I'm gonna go ahead and plug that in, and then plug it into our cart, which probably will take 2 hands. But all we have to do in the future is just undo this little cap here and plug it in. I'm gonna do that now. Okay guys, we got our battery tender plugged in. It is showing a red solid light, and that means that the battery is charging. Now don't forget, the battery tender charges very slowly, so it'll take a couple of days to charge this guy up to topped off power. But the good thing is I don't drive the cart every day, so this means that this battery will stay charged. Now all we have to do is button up the top and we should be good to go. Alright, so that was the first time I ever took the top off, the hood. Here is the hood, and really it just slides in down here, and then it has 2 latches at the top that just twist. So I think that's all the way in. And then I had a difficult time with this last time. I don't know why, because it's super easy. It's got 2 slots down here. Bummer, every time I do this, I get fingerprints on it. Alright, so that one's it. This one gave me trouble last time. Alright, it's in. Now, we just gotta clean off all our fingerprints. Got the clean and shine out. When you do this, you get fingerprints all over the cart. Clean and shine will get it right out. You know, it's like wet wax. Up here. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode of modifying the golf cart. That will charge now for, say, probably 24 hours. It will flash green first, and then when it is fully charged, it will stay green. That is the Battery Tender Junior and the Green Machine EFI 200. Like and subscribe. Love you guys. Peace out. Guys, welcome back to Supercar Street Racing. Today is an exciting day because we have a new sponsor. Imalaza has sent us one of their smart irrigation controllers for you guys to go ahead and check out. And today we're going to be removing the old Wise controller and putting in the Imalaza controller on Supercar Street Racing. Guys, we're so happy to have you back on Supercar Street Racing today, and we have a new sponsor in Imalaza. They have gone ahead and sent us their smart irrigation controller, which is sitting so fresh next to me on my right here. And we're gonna get that installed and remove the old Wise sprinkler controller that we're not exactly super happy with. We're gonna do all that on the channel today and show you guys this thing, and let's get started now. The first thing we need to do in the step on this process is to go ahead and unbox. Let's go ahead and go inside inside the Supercar Street Racing kitchen and get this brand new Imalaza Smart Irrigation Controller unboxed. All right, we are right here in front of the Imalaza ET Master Smart Sprinkler Controller. This morning on Supercar Street Racing, and our first effort of the day is going to be getting this Imalaza ET Master directly out of the box and unboxing it. But first, we're going to take a look at the front and see what is actually on the box itself. You can see right here, it does say it has real-time evapotranspiration master technology, and it is the pioneer of intelligent watering decision model. The smart and simple way to water your yard. It's for hassle-free watering and a healthy lawn. You can see right there. And then down below that, it works with existing weather stations. It is synchronized 24/7, 365 a year with these weather stations. And it does say it has a ultra-stable network connection. We'll see if that is the case. And over-the-air technology gives you nice updates to keep your device fresh and updated with the latest software. Now down at the bottom, it does say, see this on almost everything now, that it only is compatible with 2.4 gigahertz networks, and these days, even if your network has more than 2.4, like if you have 5 or whatever, you can still use the 2.4 portion of your network for devices like this, and most smart home devices also require the 2.4 gigahertz networks. Now on the side of the box, it just does say Imalaza. It has their logo on the side. And on the top, it just says real-time intelligent ET Master, water smarter, not harder, which is kind of a tongue twister. Now back on the back of the box, it has some of the technologies there. Imalaza Watering Duration Expert. It lets you set up your parameters for your garden's different areas, such as your plant types and your sprinkler type. The Watering Duration Expert automatically generates scientifically precise watering durations that meets different plant needs in different seasons. So we'll see how that works with the different types of plants that we have. Now it has a Weather Genius feature. Now what that means is it does sample weather from your area and then adjust the watering based on that. And then the ET Master continuously monitors the natural evaporation of water and the amount of water consumed by plant transpiration in your garden based on latitude and longitude. So it does know your location and kind of can figure out apparently what your needs are for your specific area for watering. And on the side of the box here, it indicates that it is compatible with rain sensors, and I think it said that it was compatible with the closed type of sensor, master valve, well pump or start delay, minimize water hammer, and then optimal weather station and a water usage report from the Imalaza Smart Sprinkler Controller, which decided to go back up against the wall right there on its own. Okay, now that we've taken a really good look at the outside of the box of the Imalaza, we're going to go ahead and unbox it now, and that simply just means opening the lid here and checking out what is inside of the box. And it looks like on top we have the actual sprinkler controller chilling right here, looking so fly, with this cool Imalaza design on it, which is kind of like mimicking the logo here on the front of the box. And I think this thing probably just comes straight out of the box. So it separates into two pieces here. That's probably for easier installation. And apparently here is the connectors on the Imalaza, and they are clearly labeled on the top here, as you can see. And then it has some buttons here. It looks like a play, almost like a play button, play pause, and fast forward and rewind buttons. Pretty interesting there. And on the back of the box, it just says Imalaza again, Smart Sprinkler Controller, and a place to hang it up right here. And on the front of the box, I do see a reset button right there and a barcode of some kind here, a QR code at the top, and all the connectors right there at the bottom, which you will need a small screwdriver to access. Underneath that, there is an instruction booklet here, and it does show you the wiring diagram. Looks like M is the master valve pump, 1 through 8 are your zones, S1 and S2 are rain sensors, and then your common connector is the common for all of the zone common for your zone valves. Now they give you cool little wire labels here. I already have some on my Wise sprinkler controller, but I have not figured out the wiring yet on that. We will do that out in the garage momentarily. Don't return. It says if you have questions, go ahead and scan that QR code there, and another one of the same thing. And then here's the manual for the Imalaza, and I have not opened that yet, but we will take a look at that next. And there should be a power adapter at the bottom. There is, and some anchors to put into the wall if you need those. We are going on a pegboard. We will be able to screw it directly into the pegboard. Now, a brief look at the manual here. It shows you what you'll need to actually install the controller. You're gonna need a screwdriver, possibly a hammer, a drill, and a drill bit, and then of course you need the transformer. It says to test your old controller that it is working properly before you change this out. It wants you to take a picture of your wiring. That's pretty smart because you may need that in the future. And then it says to remove your old controller, but it says make sure you turn off the power first. And then it has some instructions here for installing your new controller, and it does say using your previous photo to go ahead and wire your new controller up. Now it says right here if you want to wire up a rain sensor, it does work with a closed rain sensor, a normally closed rain sensor, and it shows you how to go ahead and wire that on the next page. And there is such a thing as a wireless rain sensor. Shows you how to wire it up if you do have a pump. I don't have one anymore. How to download the app and add the new controller to it, and the ways to do it in iOS. And Android comes up next in the list here. And then there is a Wi-Fi indicator here and some instructional videos you can go ahead and scan the QR code and get to. And some network troubleshooting if you do have problems, and then a FAQ on the last few pages. And that is pretty much everything that's inside of the box. Now we need to get outside to the garage and go ahead and take a look at what we currently have out in the garage. Now that we've unboxed the Imalaza Smart Irrigation Controller, there's a next step that needs to be done. We need to get this Wyze sprinkler controller off the wall. We did that earlier today. Let's go ahead and take a look at the process of removing the Wyze controller right now. All right, we are out here in the SCSR garage, the ultimate compound garage, and we are looking at our sprinkler controller here. We have the Wyze sprinkler controller sitting there that has been doing its job for a long time, but to be honest with you, it doesn't do a great job of watering, especially when you have it on a rain program. It does sometimes not water for a very long time. And so today we are going to be removing this and putting in a new Imalaza sprinkler controller where we are hopefully going to improve our watering experience. Now it's a little bit tricky to put this in because there is a wire that has to run down through the bottom here. Now this is the Wyze sprinkler controller. You can see right here it just connects to the wall just by this little, it just has a little clip that it goes into like that. The back of the sprinkler controller is right there. You can see the wiring is labeled. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a picture of that before I disconnect it so I can get it redone if I have to. Okay, looking at the back of the Wyze sprinkler controller, there is a 3, a 2, a yellow, and a white, and there is maybe a little bit of slack, that much slack. So that's all we have to work with right there. Let's go ahead and get a good picture of this while we can. Okay, we went ahead and took a look at the back, and this is very clear now. Very, very easy to understand. The white wire is the common wire right here. You see a C on there. The yellow wire is zone 1, the blue wire is zone 2, and the green wire is zone 3, and that is specifically labeled on these tiny little labels right here. Now there is not much slack here, so I can't pull this out very far. I don't know if this is compatible with the new sprinkler, so let's go ahead and compare power. If it's compatible, we will reuse the power. Okay, the current power adapter is 24 volts AC out. And I think that that is exactly what the controller uses, 24 volts AC. Let's go ahead and see if it is labeled as such. Output 24 volts AC, 1000 milliamp hours. I don't think it'll be a problem. We can go ahead and try it though ahead of time by taking our controller out and plugging it in and seeing if it does boot. All right, and it is firing up, no problem. And it does have some lights on in front of it. So this current power situation looks like it is going to work. So let's go ahead and disconnect the existing wiring and go ahead and rewire it. And you can see here, this is much easier than they give you for the new controller. The new controller has screws. This just has a little thing that you press down and the wire pops right out of the thing. So green was zone 3, that fell off. Go ahead and rewire, relabel zone 3. Blue is zone 2. There's zone 3, labeled. Zone 2 is blue. So I don't have a master valve apparently because there's not enough wires for that. and yellow is zone 1. Make sure that when you put these on, you pinch onto the wire or they just fall off like these other ones did. And then this is the common. So we'll take the C on the common, just like that. My labels are wired. That is power there. We're gonna need our drill now. Take the Y's out, which it actually broke. You can see here it's broken. Gonna have to break out the black paint to patch up the wall here. Now let's see how we are going to mount our new unit. Well, look at that. It covers up the existing almost. I'm gonna do it just like that, actually. And look, it also has a place here for you to just run a screw straight through. You don't have to hang it. So this will be easy, and then I'll be able to just come straight up with my wires right to here. This is gonna work out really good. Go ahead and run the screw in right there. The wiring is just gonna go just like that. Common 1, 2, and 3 right over there. Now wiring. So the power will go there. We'll need our tiny screwdriver for this. I'm gonna go grab it. All right, we did get the Imalaza controller up on the wall. Now the next step in the process is to go ahead and download the app and get this controller added to the app. And to do that, we have to download that from the App Store and then go ahead and create our own Imalaza account. Let's go ahead and get that done now. We're at the next step of our process here, and that is going to be to download the Imalaza app. So we have to go online in order to do that. So let's go ahead and get our double view going here of the phone and the GoPro. Guys, today on Supercar Street Racing, we have a new sponsor, and we want to thank the Beard Club for sending us this beard grooming kit for you guys to check out. There will be a link down in the description so you can order your own, but check out this cool beardclub.com kit, and inside of the kit right here, you can see we do have beard growing vitamins right here, and these are supposed to help your beard grow stronger. We have a nice grooming brush right here as well. And this is some beard growth oil to put on your beard. This is vitamin growth spray for your beard right here in this little spray. This is some nice beard shampoo for you right here to use on your beard. And then we do have this Beard Club Derma Roller here for you to use on your beard as well. All this stuff is included in the Beard Club kit here, and we would love for you guys to go ahead and check it out. And we want to thank the Beard Club for being a new sponsor on Supercar Street Racing. There will be a link in the description. Go ahead and grab yours today and let me know what you think about the Beard Club kit. Okay, we are recording on both the phone and the GoPro now, and we are going to go ahead and get this app downloaded here. So we are in the Play Store. Let's go ahead and search for Imalaza. Imalaza is right here. Let's install it. It is going ahead and downloading the app right now. I'm gonna go ahead and open up the Imalaza app. We have to create an account. We are going to be putting my name in. Okay, we have already signed up for Imalaza, as you can see here. We're gonna go ahead and click Add Controller. You gotta use Bluetooth, allow Imalaza to access your location, but we need to plug in this guy first. And it asked me if I would allow it to use Bluetooth. I said yes. It found our controller right here. I'm gonna click it. It wants my Wi-Fi. You guys can't see this. All right, it went ahead and connected that time. Let's name it SCSR. Let's do irrigation. It is solid blue now. It wants me to put my address in. We'll skip this part for you guys. All right, so it does have my neighborhood on here now, as you guys can see. It is flashing, kind of pulsing blue. It is pulsing blue, flashing, controller activated. And you can see on the screen here, a kind of look at my address, set up zones. Now it wants us to move outside for this next part. And we need to go outside to do this part. So let's go ahead and move outside. Yum. I went ahead and set the picture here, and let's see a quick run on this to see if it actually works. We're gonna do a 5-minute run. Let's see. There is a play button, and there it goes. Our watering on zone 1. Zone 1 does work. It is cold, so we're not watering much right now. Let's go ahead and stop the zone. Let's move on over here to zone 2, get a picture, add a photo. All right, let's go ahead and do a quick run on zone 2. All we have to do is hit the play button, and there is zone 2. And we have a problem with this head right here. So we might have to call the irrigation company on that one, but zone 2 is working. Let's go ahead and stop down zone 2 and go backyard to zone 3. All right, here we go in the backyard with zone 3. Let's go ahead and open it up. Let's get our picture sorted, add a photo with camera, zone 3 for 5 minutes. Let's hit play. Let's see if all of our valves work. Looks like they're all working. That one has a little issue, but we're gonna call Millennium Irrigation before summer and get a tune-up. So that is all 3 zones functioning properly. Let's go ahead and stop this one. All right, now that we went ahead and configured all of our zones, we need to go back into the Imalaza Smart app and show you guys exactly how that works and look at some of the smart options and some of the scheduling options on the app and go ahead and configure those for you. Let's go ahead and sit down with the phone and get that checked out. All right, we're on the front page of the app right here where it does show our weather, and you can set up a schedule by going down to schedules and hitting the plus sign. And now it says, let's create an optimized watering schedule for your yard. If you hit next here, it says that you can choose between a new grass schedule and a fixed schedule, or an ET Smart schedule. It is pre-selected on fixed schedule. If we go down to ET Smart schedule, let's see what it wants us to do from here and how it knows what to do for us. We're gonna turn on all of our zones and hit next. Now it wants to water everything for 21 minutes per zone due to the fact that we are in a climate that is dry. Let's go ahead and put Smart Cycle and Soak. And what this does is helps prevent runoff by breaking up your watering time. So we've got an option here to skip rain. We got an option here to skip freezing, and we've got a wind skip also. Let's go ahead and select all those. So here is the issue here. It is wintertime in Florida, and right now it is very cold, and so I don't know if it will compensate for the cold weather or not. I have to ask the manufacturer that question. For now, I'm just gonna set up 2 days. It's gonna start on the 31st and end never. It's gonna end before sunrise, and this is going to be winter. And that's as easy as pie to go ahead and set up a watering schedule. You can see there, we have our watering schedule active, and it is going to start on the 31st. I encourage you to look at this heavily for your area and customize it if you need to. I will hit the manufacturer up about the recommended days and the fact that it is winter time in Florida. So that's gonna do it from inside the app. I hope you enjoyed that part of it. And once again, if you have questions, please put them in the comments section. All right, guys, that is going to do it for today for Supercar Street Racing. We are so happy that you guys have tuned in today. The channel is really growing immensely. We have a lot of subscribers coming in now, but we need those video views up and we need your support. Please make sure to like and subscribe and check out some of the older videos where you have time. And we want to thank Imalaza today for being a new sponsor on the channel. You can go ahead and find a link to this in the description down below. You can order one for yourself, and let me know if you guys have any questions that you want me to ask the manufacturer. I'll I'll go ahead and ask them for you and get an answer as soon as possible. But meanwhile, please like and subscribe to Supercar Street Racing. We need that more than anything. We need your support as a viewer, and we need you to go ahead and buy all your products through our product links down below. Thank you once again, Imalaza, for this awesome smart sprinkler controller.